Everything starts with a brief. In architecture, everything starts with a brief. A brief can be a single statement from the client, or it can be a long conversation with the client. So it is a process that from the day of inception up to the day of construction, the ideas keep on flowing. But the main idea behind Losai is to create affordable units that are tailor-made for young professionals and investors to be able to have that unit that they can have as a home for that young professional, for the investor, for the investment purposes.
There's the master planner behind every structure. Well, in building and construction field, the first step, you get the drawings, you do your system, you do your loads, you do your analysis, you do a detailed design, and then you produce drawings. Then that does not end there. Once it goes to ground, you have to do construction supervision, that's close monitoring to ensure that whatever you have designed is being implemented.
A project manager creates what is called a feasibility study for a project. When the architect is given a brief, we are the people who justify what project will be done. So we do a feasibility study and support the feasibility study with data and financials to ensure that it is the highest and best use of the land that the client has.
If you buy a fridge, I rarely see people looking at how much power it consumes. The same thing with heaters. You'll go buy a heater which is 9 kilowatt. Your wiring is allowing only for 2. That's the first issue. You install your heater, it burns you, it gets the fault. So it's an issue of knowing what type of heater to do and allowing the cable size. For us, we have allowed the maximum cable size for such, which is 6 millimeter, which can handle all the way to 9 kilowatt. So whatever heating element you bring, that will work.
You have to check that whatever you have spec'd, if it's materials or other kind of structural element like structural steel. Say if you're using a truss system, you have specified a certain thickness or a certain gauge of an element, you have to be there to ascertain that whatever you spec in your design is what is being implemented.
Once the main pipe comes and goes into the house, during construction, we ensure that a pressure test is done before any connection is done. The pressure test should hold water for around 48 hours and maintain the same pressure all through that time with minimum. If you do the pressure test and after 48 hours the pressure set has gone down, you know there's a leakage somewhere. There's somewhere where the pressure is being released. So all those tests will be done and recorded. And in addition, once we're now doing the finishes, where we have our pipes, we'll make sure that they're isolated, such that any new works that are coming, no one will puncture them. If you're doing your cabinetry, if you're doing your tiles, if you're doing any other works for the finish of the building, we're going to be there and ensure that we monitor all these things so that nothing is damaged.
We have many amenities that we are considering for Losai. For example, security amenities such as CCTV access control. We are having backup generators because of fluctuations of power. We are having high-speed lifts to cater for the traffic movement along the 14 floors. We are cognizant of the fact that we need to create spaces that meet the demand of our customers, and therefore the architect has designed spaces that are naturally ventilated and well lit.
It's possible to have luxury in an affordable house. That is the first biggest message that I want to send. And just because it's Ngara does not mean it cannot be luxurious at an affordable price. We want to change the skyline of the areas that are encountering urban renewal. Ngara is one of them. The roads are now done, there's sewer, there's electricity, there's everything. It is a stone throw away from city center. We can still have luxury at an affordable price.
As you design the buildings, it's very important to have in mind that at the end of the day, you are not in a cocoon. The building that you're designing is going to be interacting not just with the end user, but with the rest of the neighborhood. So as you design the buildings, you look at all the aspects that go into the design. So it's key when doing your designs to do what is called site analysis, to take into consideration the wind directions, to take into consideration the sun path, all that, and even the infrastructure that is involved.
The good thing about the location of our project is that we have an existing sewer line. So it's not complicated to do, because even with the lower basements having septics, you have to come back up. So as now, all our waste is going to the existing line. The drainage pipes are adequately sized all through the building to ensure that nothing happens, no blockages, and all the foul smell is also concealed with our vent system going up, which is not mixed with any of the supply lines or the drainage lines. So we have different drainage systems for different types of water.
As they say, location, location, location. It is a strategic and commanding location for the project, and the project is designed to meet a need that is currently in the country. As you've seen, a lot of developers are going into youth housing, and we believe that ours is one of the best because of our location and the amenities that we're providing in Losai.
Units are very well designed. We have a provision for internet, and the internet is also we have multiple internet provisions. So we'll have a fiber backbone structure which allows for multiple service providers. So, and also these systems will be backed up by a UPS system and also the generator. So there's no issue of a breakdown in the service. It's continuity all through. So even if power goes, before the generator peaks, the UPS has picked up the load. After the UPS holds the load for a few minutes, maybe 1 or 2, the generator is back up, the internet stays on.
My name is Jane Mabera, Head of Sales, 17 Losai. Let's break down the numbers. The first number is the purchase price, which is 3.5 million. 70% is paid across the construction period, that is 24 months. So you can either pay in monthly installments or quarterly installments. If you decide to pay it in monthly installments, that's 102,000 Kenyan shillings. If you decide to pay in quarterly installments, that's 306,000 Kenyan shillings. And the 10% is paid upon completion of the project, which is 350,000 Kenyan shillings. Let's look at the return on investments. For unfurnished units, you fetch around 25,000 Kenyan shillings per month. Per year, that will be 300,000 Kenyan shillings. Upon completion, the project will be valued at 4.5 million. This represents a capital gain of 28.5%. In addition to the purchase price, we have additional costs, which is 10% of the purchase price, which covers the stamp duty and the legal charges. That is 10%.
Our investor is always supposed to hedge against inflation, and one of the best hedges against inflation is real estate. Now with Losai, we are promising you, if you enter now at our early bird price, you will have the advantage of the rental yield, which is above 8%. And also we promise you capital appreciation north of 20%.
By the time we have opened sales, we've already done the math. We have our BQs now locked. We know where our products are coming from. Already we know what the basement looks like. We've already done our geotechnical to show us what our ground level looks like. And so therefore the mathematics we've done for our substructure is not going to change. I want to assure everyone that we are clear on how to produce this building because we have done the math, we have tied all the loose ends. Again, this is something we've done for clients before.
In terms of timelines, the project is anticipated to start in Q3 of 2024 and delivery is expected to be done by Q2 of 2026. We have already obtained a construction program that we have started tracking and also managing cash flows to ensure that we don't have any mishaps during the implementation of the project. So we are true that we will deliver in time.